Welcome back to the Armchair Generals,
where we talk 40K's news, tactics, and lore.
And so much more. We hope you enjoy the video.
All right, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Armchair Generals. Thank you for joining us today. As always, my name is Crash, and with me are El Scotcho.
Hey, guys.
And Novastar.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
And today we're going to be going over the new Blood Angels rules that have been teased, as well as some of the interesting developments on the website in regards to stock of said Blood Angels models and things of that nature. So just getting right off the bat, we have some teases of some new rules, as well as just rehashing of some old rules. Nova, do you want to go over the Descent of Angels there?
The Descent of Angels.
I
didn't have that. I had the Death Guard pulled up.
Okay,
So forgive me.
I can do Descent of Angels unless El Scotcho wants to.
It's pretty cool. There's quite a bit here. We're looking at Savage Echoes here, which means while their assault doctrine is active, each time this unit fights, it made a charge move, was charged or performed heroic intervention, add 1 to their attacks. So that's all Blood Angels, not just affected by rage rules here. We got at least part of the new Black Rage info here.
Well, now the Savage Echoes no, that came to us in Devastation of Baal, right?
That was in Blood of Baal.
Blood of Baal, yeah.
Psychic Awakening book.
Sorry.
So, that's just a rehash of their old stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but it's good to introduce it to the wider audience because I myself didn't realize that had been introduced in Blood of Baal. So
haven't done anything Blood Angels in a while. And then we got their Black Rage rule. When you select this unit to move, they cannot fall back if they're affected by Black Rage. They get the +1 attacks. Lose a wound on a when they lose a wound on a D6 roll of a 6, they don't lose the wound, and then cannot perform actions. That's a big one. So no capping, no securing objectives, no raising the banner, whatever the new mechanics are for tournaments. But they make a special point to point out that +3 attacks each if assault doctrine is active that turn.
Yeah.
So they go from already being pretty good at combat normally to being super awesome. And that's just your basic unit potentially. That's not including any bonus
attacks. If you have like a Blood Angel Death Company Intercessor Squad who's got 2 base attacks and a Star Tease Chainsword, so that's 3. Death Company 4. Savage Echoes 5. So right there is 5 attacks when you're charging, and then you can cast a power. I believe it's the new Unleash Rage, and whenever you roll a 6, you get another attack.
Yeah,
it's
so you turn your squads into blenders.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Well, and see, it's going to be an interesting counterpoint to the Space Wolves because you're going to be able to, with Blood Angels, you're going to be able to do all these things, if certain things are active, like, Black Rage and all. And then also pumping CP into them, I'm sure will add to that. So potentially for a turn or 2, you're going to get this squad that turns into a blender, as Nova put it. Whereas Space Wolves, you don't have to, I'm noticing that you don't have to pump CP into them. And these rules are effective, irrespective of, what's going on the battlefield around them. So it's going to be more of a static plus minus situation. I don't know. I'm explaining it incorrectly, but I think to be honest, go ahead.
I'm saying I know what you mean. Blood Angels, Blood Angels require character stratagems, special circumstances. When they get those, they are absolutely amazing. I mean, utterly devastating. I mean,
what I like to say is between the Blood Angels and Space Wolves is the Space Wolves are going to have the quality of the attacks. The Blood Angels are going to have the quantity.
Yeah, that's a good way
So
to put
they're
it.
both very good. They're just how you're applying it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could honestly, for those that are, bound and determined to take detachments, honestly, I mean, could you imagine somebody playing one detachment of Space Wolves and one of Blood Angels? That would be nasty combo.
I know
can.
Crash and we are still kicking the idea of doing whenever
Doubles.
Adepticon comes back of doing the doubles with Blood Angels and Dark Angels.
Old school Angels of Death.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh.
but actually, a lot of the current meta lists that I'm seeing online and whatnot actually have mixed attachments of Space Wolves and Ultramarines. So
Really?
it would not surprise me if we see um, a Space Wolves detachment and a Blood Angels detachment, or Blood Angels detachment and Ultramarines detachment. They're taking like Ultramarines to get the units they want out of Ultramarines, taking Space Wolves, and they're sacrificing the CP for it.
Yeah.
And those lists are doing pretty well. So we're getting a little bit of the Imperial suit back, but
It's
it's more
not the
contained.
bombs. So I think it'll be okay without the bombs because it's still not, impossible to beat. So, I mean,
But I think
because you're,
with these new rules that they're laying out for Blood Angels, and the what we've gotten for Dark Angels, I think that Angels of Death list type stuff that Nova and I are looking at would be could be rather effective. Some really good shooting mixed with some really good melee.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got some Blade Guard and an Impulsor that I need to get painted up because
Yeah.
Blood Angel Blade Guard are just devastating.
Yeah,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah. By these teasers, you can tell that those kind of units are just going to be absolutely insane to fight against.
Blade Guard
Um,
already have 4 attacks, don't they? Or do they have 3?
They have a goodly amount. I don't know off the top of my head. Hold on.
I mean, Blade Guard, Blood Angels Blade Guard plus 2 attacks on the charge, or well, in the first round of combat rather. Shock Assault plus Blood Angel.
Oh, I forgot about Shock Assault for the Death Company too. So that's 6 attacks for the Death Company that
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
talking about
exactly.
earlier.
Death Company Intercessors are just
Blade Guard have 3 attacks apiece.
okay. So a Blood Angels Blade Guard in the first round of combat has 5.
And they're strength 5 because of the new power sword rules. Because they have Master Crafter power swords, so it's damage 2.
Yep.
And they get +1 to wound with their Red Thirst.
Yep.
And they have 3 wounds, and they have storm shields. Yeah. No, it's going to be a hard unit to deal with.
Yeah.
No, they got real popular in Blade Angel lists. I don't know why.
Can't imagine why, Nova. Oh,
Continuing on with the article, they go into a warlord trait here. It says artisan war. Not super psyched about this one. So I don't.
This
I
one got
personally,
so much better, El Scotcho. You don't even know.
well, it just basically if can be given one of the following on top of any other relic that they're carrying. So one of the
character can have 2.
Yeah, I get it. It's just I don't know. I'm not big on relics. I mean,
Okay, so the old Artisan of War just gave your non-relic weapon +1 damage. So it's how you were getting the 4 damage Thunder Hammer Smash Captains. The new one lets you pick out of the I think what is it, 3 special issue war gear. One of them, if you want to go the old route, you mastercraft your Thunder Hammer. Boom, it's 4 damage now. But or if you say you had for whatever reason your ancient was going to be your warlord, depending on the points game, you could give them Artisa for armor, so now they have a 2-up save and a 5-up invulnerable when they normally wouldn't, and you can still give them a relic weapon. So you can just add some defense on top of their offense.
got it. Again, I'm not really worried about anything except making sure my wolf has a frost blade. So I mean, once that objective is achieved, then it's after that I don't really care. So I could see artificer armor.
I mean, it's the equivalent of the same thing for Blood Angels, basically. And so, in addition to having a Space Wolves relic on your warlord, you could also then turn around and have. I mean, for this, it's a Master Crafter weapon, so it's just +1 damage, not 1 strength and damage, but still. So you could have, some super cool armor or something like that. You could pick another relic and still upgrade your general's, damage output.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see digital weapon or adamantine mantle being taken too often. I see if you're going to take artisan war, it's going to be between artificer armor or mastercrafted weapon.
Oh yeah,
It's
totally.
probably always going to be mastercrafted weapon. Though the stipulation is you can't give it to your character if their base weapon is already mastercrafted.
Yeah. And it says specifically in
Or
each
it
relic.
can't be a relic either.
Yeah. So
would be nifty on a relic blade.
Here we go. Perfect example. Your sanguinary priest is a low points game. That's your warlord. He comes base with a chainsword, so you give him Teeth of Terra, and then you give him Adamantine Mantle, so he has a 2-up save and a 5-up. I'm sorry, you give him Artificer Armor, and boom. Now he's pretty boss, and before he was just an apothecary.
Yeah, Teeth of Terror is a nasty weapon.
yeah, it is.
Did you? I think you skipped over Red Rampage there, El Scotcho.
I hadn't gotten there yet. Oh no, yeah, you're right. I did. I just didn't even notice it. So stratagem here, 1 CP. Until your next command phase, each Blood Angel model from your army makes an attack with a pistol and melee weapon. Or each time they make an attack with a pistol and melee weapon, unmodified roll of 6, then the AP is improved by 1. So that'll be pretty nice.
This stacks with the Assault Doctrine, too.
Exactly. So throw that on, that unit of
this affects the whole army, Scott.
Yeah, the entire army.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yeah.
You can use it once per game. So you choose the time when you're just about to do an all-out assault, when there's just this tide of red. Roll Tide is about to hit your opponent's army, and you just pop this. You go Red Rampage, and boom.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Right when you drive home with that first assault in the assault, doctrine and everything like that, and everything's got 6 or 7 attacks of craziness. Kick it off, and then unmodified wound roll of 6 plus 1 AP.
Yeah, that would be nasty. I wonder how much of this is going to affect the offshoots like flesh terrors and stuff like that. I know they're going to get
almost all of these you can use on your successor chapters, and then flesh terrors themselves have a number of relics and stratagems that are for them only, and warlord traits.
Yeah.
Look, Sanguinary Priest is out of stock. I wonder why.
The stock on Blood Angels, like everything's out of stock, guys. And gals, everything's out of stock. So if you're looking for Blood Angel stuff,
you'll be waiting a bit.
Secondary markets, local stores.
Yeah.
I need a Sanguinary Priest to go with this nice jump pack that is sitting on my desk.
Moving on, they've got a relic teaser here. Icon of the Angel. Standard bearer the bearer gets the following ability. When a friendly Blood Angels unit is within 6 inches of this model, you can re-roll charge results. So if you end up, rolling and getting a 3 and need that, 5-inch charge or something like that, you can.
So this got moved up to the normal relics. It used to be special issue war gear, and they also nerfed it because it used to be you could re-roll any of the dice, so you could choose if you wanted to keep one. But apparently that's just really strong when your whole army wants to charge and beat things to a pulp. So they're like, okay, no, you're just going to reroll everything.
And then, of course, they're teasing the Magna Grapple for our Death Company. I like it. I like it a lot.
We've been without
for the Furiosa and the Death Company Dreadnought. It's pretty cool.
Do you remember back in like 3rd edition when you'd actually pull the enemy vehicle to you?
Yeah.
that
got weird, moving other people's models.
Yeah, that was the 4th edition codex that came in the 2 White Dwarfs where that started.
Yeah. Is that back when you could drop dreadnoughts from that?
Oh shoot! No, that was in the 5th edition codex. Yeah, because you could deep strike your land raiders.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to take and load a land raider into this cannon and shoot it at that planet. You better hold on, boys.
There's a really cool picture from back then of a Land Raider Deep Striking. It's got Dante playing a guitar, like just standing on top of it. I'll have to find that. We'll put it in the show notes. So, but in correlation, we can see when GW gives you good rules for your army, you tend to sell out.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
we go over to the pre-order pages, all the Blood Angel Death Company Intercessors, which is just an Intercessor box with upgrade sprue thrown in, the Blood Angel Combat Patrol, the Collector's Dice, and the Collector's Codex are all gone. And so are all the Gladiator tanks.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Well, those gladiators are pretty awesome tanks. I even want some, and I'm not huge on the Primaris yet. I've still got my old Marines that I'm building and painting. But yeah, I definitely like those tanks a lot. So I can definitely see why they're sold out.
Yeah, I'm more surprised that the Combat Patrol sold out. But then again, maybe people saw it as a good opportunity for a Christmas present. But the other army's Combat Patrol is not sold out, just the Blood Angels. I do think the Blood Angel is probably one of the better ones.
Those Christmas battle forces sold out pretty heavily. There's only a few left.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then you can still get, as of this recording, the Death Watch and the Space Wolf dice. The Blood Angel ones are gone. So the Blood Angel ones are the first time that I can remember where there's only a symbol on the 6 and a 1 is a 1.
Oh. Huh.
But it's all blood drops, but if you bring up the picture of them, it's all very easily legible. So instead of a pip, it's just a blood drop.
Oh, that's cool.
Super legible. The 6 is the blood drop with the wings, and the 1 is just a single blood drop.
Usually
they finally listened and didn't put like a skull or something else there.
Yeah, it's my Dark Angels dice. The 1 is a skull.
Yeah, on my old Blood Angel dice, the 1 is a skull with fangs. So I'm asking my source to get me 2 of these new Blood Angel box dices, and then I will use my old Blood Angel dice as wound counters.
There you go.
Because almost everything in the army will have multiple wounds. Because I think my army is either all Primaris or like Sanguinary Guard have 2 wounds.
Yeah.
I'll use the gold dice for them because they're special.
I just thought about that.
All right.
Hopefully GW realizes like, oh, people like it when the 1 is a 1 and not another symbol.
Yeah, I'd be curious. That makes me want to look at this Space Wolf dice again, take a look and see if it's not a weird symbol.
I'm pretty sure it's a weird symbol, just like the Death Watch dice.
Yeah.
Nova, did you want to go over the Flaw Made Manifest Death Company stuff?
So a Flaw Made Manifest. Before, when you are wanting to turn your characters into Death Company, you would have to spend CP. But now, like the chapter command structure in the Codex Space Marines, you pay a small points bump, and you can turn up to 1 captain and 2 lieutenants into Death Company characters in a detachment. Captain is 20 points, lieutenant's 10. And this, they lose their normal aura abilities to affect core units, but they instead now affect Death Company units. And so they'll get the normal Death Company rules, the +1 attack, the 6-up wound shrug, feel no pain. Can't raise banners anymore because they crazy. But something that's super duper awesome, that is brand new, is they get to use something called Death Visions of Sanguinius, where there's, I think there's 3 or 4, I don't remember. But each character can use 1 a turn. I think you can only use 1 per battle.
Yeah.
Unless you can spend CP, I think, to double up and use it again, but then it costs CP. But basically, if your character meets these criteria, your Blood Angel character is reliving the last moments of Sanguinius and thinks that he's fighting the War Master. So the one that they show off is called On the Bridge of the Vengeful Spirit. So if your models fighting an infantry character or a monster character are visible to it, you can use this Death Vision until the fight is resolved. So if the fight keeps going, you keep getting the ability. but you add 1 to the model's attack characteristic for every 5 enemy models that are within 6 of it, which is really good. Say if you're fighting Gene Stealer cults and they have a big brood next to their character, like, cool, thanks for charging me up. Then each time the model attacks, you can re-roll the hit roll, which is pretty good too.
I just have one comment about this one, and that is, I wonder with the changes, and blast weapons being a thing now, wonder how often we're going to see big broods of Gene Stealers, for instance, and things like that. I know they are more effective in bigger squads typically, but I'm wondering if once we get the Tyranid and the Gene Stealer cult lists, we'll see how effective they remain in that big size. But yeah, I agree. That will be
as of right now. I think you're either just going to see like min squads, like 5er units to try to negate the abilities of blast, or you're just going to see people go all out with max size units saying, I'll just absorb the casualties.
That's kind of my feeling too.
A lot of the tournament lists, they're either completely minimum squads, or they're like mobs of 20 to 30, depending on how many they can take.
And then say with Tyranids, you can take some of the, I don't remember what it's called, but it can manufacture more gaunts on the table.
Oh, the Turbogon?
That's it, the Turbogon. And you just add more. In that case, you're like, yeah, I'll take giant size squads and replenish them.
That could be useful because, I mean, a 30 person unit would render, I mean, that'd be 6 extra attacks for that commander.
I mean, even if it's just like a 5-man squad, you still get +1 attack, but you also get to re-roll your hit rolls.
Yeah.
I
mean, that could be rather useful.
They've also done a lot for the people who are playing Crusade for Blood Angels, and now, depending how many units that your model's engaged with, and I think engaged with and killed, or maybe just killed, but you have to take tests to see if your squad members like succumb to the Black Rage and become Death Company, which is really cool, especially from the narrative RP kind of feel that they're trying to do with Crusade.
Yeah.
But with the advent of being able to take, commanders and lieutenants as Death Company, it just means fielding an entire Death Company army is even easier now.
Yeah.
Granted, you're not going to be raising banners and going for objectives with it. Sorry, you're going to go, blood for the Blood Emperor. That's what this army is all about.
On there, I see an honorable death in battle. When you select this agenda, select 1 Death Company unit from your army. If that Death Company unit is destroyed during the battle, you can remove that unit from your order of battle. If you do, each other Blood Angels unit from your army gains 1 experience point, and you gain 1 additional requisition point.
So basically, you can replace them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, the Blood Angels they see these Black Rage guys, and they just have they pity them, and they fear them a little bit because they know that any moment they could become that. Like if they lose control of themselves. It's very much like the Wolfen Flaw, but with the Wolfen, I think it's a lot harder, or it seems harder. They're more intermittent. With the Black Rage, it almost feels like a light switch. Like you just flip a Blood Angel at the wrong time and they're done.
Well, and it seems like they can come back from being a Wolfen. I don't know how true that is. I mean, but it seems like there is a possibility of it. Whereas, once their Black Rage starts, unless your name is
Mephiston,
then
there's 3 models in Blood Angels history.
I did notice one thing here. Okay.
Oh, I was saying there's 3 models in Blood Angel history, and they've all been able to deal with the Black Rage separately. So Mephiston actually became completely enthralled by it and broke free of it and regained his sanity. So he went from brother like Calestros to Mephiston. Then you have Lamardis, who is in full grips of the Black Rage, but his will is so strong he's able to suppress it. And what they do with him is between battles, they actually put him in stasis. They only wake him up to fight and to use his wisdom. That's it. And then they usually judge to see if he's gone too much, but if he's cognitive enough and isn't thinking he's sanguineous, they just refreeze him. The other character is someone that they don't have anymore, but he's in the 3rd edition Blood Angel Codex called Moriar the Chosen, and he was basically the first Furioso dreadnought with the double fists.
Yeah.
And it said that, I can pull that up. I have this book right now.
Yeah, I remember the model. He was cool back then. They had modified his sarcophagus so he could drink blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you totally know it. Let's see.
I used to play Blood Angels back then.
Oy.
I know, kind of gross, but I mean, all it would really do is take you add a funnel right where his mouth hole is.
Yeah, it just basically says he's in the grip of the Black Rage, hungering for blood and stuff, but he's still around, walking about. So maybe he's just the precursor to the Death Company Dreadnought now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's two survivors. They deal with it differently.
Okay.
One thing I noticed you didn't mention was the descent into madness. You kind of touched on it, but you select the Blood Angel captain or lieutenant from your order of battle that has 2 or more flaw points. So that's going to be a new aspect for Blood Angels players, flaw points on their. Oh, well, actually, I think that's for everybody for Crusades, but and then you can basically induct them into the Death Company. And then let's see, the Crusade and increases power rating accordingly. You cannot purchase this requisition. Doing so would cause your total power level to exceed your Crusade's force supply limit. So basically, you can upgrade, mid Crusade to one of your custom characters if they have 2 or more flaw points. So losing basically, or getting really, really messed up in a fight. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited when we can actually get a Crusade off the ground here.
Indeed. But yeah, no, Blood Angels rules look really, really good. I know, Nova, you said that some people online were complaining that they've been downgraded.
I think people just like to complain.
Half the hobby is complaining about that.
I don't see. I mean, I see where they I guess, yes, technically the banner got nerfed, but I see it more as a fine tuning because you don't want every army. You want them to be strong, but you don't want them just to obliterate every opponent because that's not fun.
Well,
it's
and
not
then
fun for the person being obliterated.
Yeah, you get tournaments where you get 3/4 of the players show up with one army because it's the only thing that's good.
Oh, like 5th edition Grey Knights or Guard, yeah. I mean, that's not fun either. You go to a tournament, you want to see everyone's every different army you can imagine and their take on it.
It also pushes power creep.
Yep.
When you have an army that's too powerful, you have to upgrade the other armies, because you're a model company, as Games Workshop, you're a model company, you sell models. And so when one army is too powerful, that's the only army you sell. So you have to upgrade the other armies to match that army, and you get power creep. And I do think that GW has been handling that better with 8th and 9th edition because of the constant updates we're getting.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting, years in between updates.
I think the fact that they brought in such a huge group of narrative-minded players and tournament-minded players and run rules and testing past both equally and get feedback from both sets of people, I think that's really helped.
Yeah.
Honestly thinking, I think bringing the ITC folks into the loop was probably one of the best moves they ever made.
Well, it's not just them. They also brought in the Nova Open. They brought in the guys who run Adepticon. Those are some of the biggest tournaments in the world. There's groups from other countries, but they put them in 2 categories. Like all the tournament people, they call the Mournival, and you see special thanks in the codex to them. And then all the narrative-minded people are called the Infinity Circuit.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Yes. Well, if you look at the codexes in the beginning, it's like special thanks to the Mournival and the Infinity Circuit. Yeah, they do the same for Age of Sigmar. I forget the monikers that they use for the two groups, but they do the same thing.
Well, I mean, people like Frontline, Reese and Frankie, and people, that ran Nova and all these others. I mean, they're the people that broke the game, in 7th edition and whatnot. So, I mean, getting them to help you shore up rules and stuff is a really good idea.
Well, maybe Frankie broke it. We all know Reese isn't that good of a player.
Ooh, shots fired.
Hope he watches this one. It's okay. That's
For
how I
those
got
of our
onto their
viewers-
team, is because I beat Reese.
For those of our viewers that don't know, Nova used to live there and is good friends with them and was on Team Zero Comp and everything like that. So he's calling out his buddy, not talking trash. Well, talking trash, yes, but calling out.
I can do both at the same time.
Now, I think the new Blood Angels rules look great. It makes me very happy, to look forward. I think the Space Wolves rules, that have come out are very solid. I mean, everything that's come out so far, 9th edition, have been really solid.
Well, I kind of want to point out one thing, and I think they've done a very good job of differentiating two loyalist factions here, but not
assault factions.
exactly, but not so. They're not. Neither of them are broken. At least on the cusp of it, we don't.
Are you talking about Space Wolves versus Blood Angels?
Yeah, I mean they do what they do differently, but I mean, but in theory they're same play style. Get in your opponent's face.
Yeah.
You know,
And that was the problem they've had. I agree with you for 3rd edition, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. 7th is wacky, but they always kind of competed for that same slot, and it's now like they're still competing for that slot, but they're doing it just so much different than each other that when you just don't feel like, oh, I'm playing Space Wolves with red armor, I'm playing Blood Angels with gray
perfect
armor.
example, or Blood Angels with gray armor. Yeah, Blood Angels are going to be more of a pure melee army, I think, versus Space Wolves being melee and shooting. I mean, you're going to be able to, the Space Wolf sweet spot is still going to be that 12-inch range where I can sit there and double tap with all my bolters and then charge you, versus Blood Angels are all about get that charge.
I think the majority of my army, their ranged weapons would be pistols.
Yeah, exactly. Not that they don't have the ability to do range, but they are much more focused on that, that melee, base to base. Whereas,
it's also going to make a difference in weapons chosen too. Space Wolves hit better with things like power fists and thunder hammers. Blood Angels, taking them, sure. I mean, they've got a lot more attacks, but Space Wolves are going to hit more reliably with those weapons. Whereas Blood Angels, you might want to take a different weapon that you're going to hit more with.
Yeah, I would take like Lightning Claws with Blood Angels way faster than I would take them on Space Wolves.
Blood Angels.
I mean, bar the character that you're going to give them Frost Claws, but like on a general. So what Vanguard vets with Lightning Claws and Sun Shields for Blood Angels.
Whereas my Vanguard vets, if I take them, Wolf Guard with jump packs,
I'd give them fist or hammers.
Totally give them a power fist and a storm shield.
Yeah, well, like the squad that I had written up in that was all power fists and storm shields because they get that +1 to hit, and it makes that fist so much more effective.
Yeah, well, and then
it's that perfect age-old thing. Do you use the sword? Do you use the axe? They're both great weapons for melee, but you fight differently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we're seeing that Blood Angels and Space Wolves. I mean, their army special rules are really helping to differentiate them. Their warlord traits and their relics actually, are significantly helping, and their stratagems. It
will be interesting to see when we get our Dark Angel supplement out how they will differentiate from the other shooting Marine armies, because currently we all know shooting Marines are pretty much going to be Ultramarines right now. We get
just from what we've gotten in the Index Astartes Dark Angels, leading up to the Codex release. I mean, there's lots of good plasma stuff, death going on there. But they're going to be a much more mixed force. I think you're going to see some Primaires, you're going to see some regular power armor Marines, you're going to see some Raven Wing, you're going to see some Deathwing.
I think they're going to do the more heavy emphasis on a joint Raven Wing Deathwing strike. I think you'll see a lot of combos and bonuses to that kind of playstyle.
Deathwing Termies set up to lay waste to troops, and Raven Wing attack bikes with multi-meltas will be a pretty solid combo.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how the new land speeders will factor in a Raven Wing force.
I don't think they will.
No? Well,
personally, I don't think they're worth their points. I mean, they're most of the same cost as a Gladiator.
Yeah.
I don't see any point in taking one of them and taking up an entire fast attack slot with one of them, when you could take a Gladiator to do what they do, and that would take up a heavy support slot, and you could take attack bikes instead.
Yeah.
Right now.
If they actually get the Jink keyword and get the Involve when they move, then I think that'll let them compete because they'll be more defensive.
And that's possible. But I personally don't care for the speeders. If you could take them in squads, multiple choices for a fast attack choice, I'd say sure. But there's so many good things to take in Space Marines fast attack choices right now. Yeah. I just don't see the point in using an entire slot on that.
Well,
you've got right now. You have Outriders, you have Invader ATVs, and you have attack bikes. And my God, if you're filling up an entire slot that you could fill with one of those land speeders.
Dark Angels were historically the first group to be able to take a multiple land speeder squad, back in the day. So that might be a thing we see.
Possibly. I mean, like I said, if you could take them in a squad, I could see it. But taking up an entire fast attack choice, unless you're doing an Outrider force, but even then, if you're doing an Outrider force, you have Outriders, actual Outriders, and you have attack bikes, and you have Invader ATVs. Like, it's really hard for me to justify taking a land speeder when you only get the one, or the storm speeder when you only get the one storm speeder, when you can just take a Gladiator.
Yeah.
For like 60, 70 more points. Get a lot more firepower out of it, because the Hail Strike, nobody's going to take the Hail Strike.
No.
Regular onslaught Gatling cannon, not even a heavy. It's not even a heavy. It's a regular onslaught Gatling cannon, and then the twin stubbers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad choice. The other two, the hammer and the something.
Hammer Strike.
Yeah, Hammer Strike and whatever the other one is. The Last Talon one and the Melta one. They're solid, but you're taking up an entire slot, fast attack slot with that, when there's such good fast attack choices to take in Space Marines right now. And again, that's my personal opinion. Different people play differently. Different people have different ideas of what they think will work. Just for me personally, I just can't countenance taking a single speeder in a fast attack slot when I could take attack bikes or Outriders.
Yeah.
Because Outriders are just so nasty. Blood Angels Outriders are going to be ridiculous.
Death Company. Ooh. Oh wait, you can't make Death Company.
No, you can't make them Death Company. They're just good anyway. So many attacks.
So many attacks. Just any army, Outriders are not a bad addition. They're so tough. They have so many attacks. They're fast. Like, they're very good additions for pretty much any army, even a shooty heavy army.
Yeah.
You get a chaplain on bike with their Primaire chaplain on bike with them.
Big Tom and Pete stick.
Stone.
That Primaire's chaplain is just so good. So good. But no, I think this puts Blood Angels in a really good place.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. If there's nothing else major to cover then, other than them needing to come back in stock, we do thank you for joining us today. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button. smash the like button, hit the
Smash
subscribe
it.
button, hit the notification bell so that you never miss an upload from us.
Just
And,
pretend it's the bell of the Astronomicon on Terra.
Bell of the Astronomicon. And until next time, we have been the Armchair Generals.
And remember, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my battle brother eternal.
It's actually kind of a deeper quote than normal there, Nova.
That is the last line of the Invocation Initiate of the Flesh Terrors,
Oh,
a Blood Angel successor chapter.
Thank you for joining us for today's video.
we hope you enjoyed your time with us.
If you did, please remember to smash that like button.
Hit subscribe and click that notification bell.
So you never miss a video from us.
Until next time, we are the Armchair Generals.